Let's explore converting out area in the metric system. Now, area of a two-dimensional plane figure, so plane just means flat figure, is the amount of space inside of it. And normally area is measured in square units. So when I'm working in the metric system, those square units are usually then going to be measured by the square meter, which should be abbreviated M with a little 2 behind it, or I can measure it with the square centimeter. Which would be cm with a little 2 behind it. So let's convert out 2,400 square centimeters to square meters. So again, the information that I'm given, the 2,400 square centimeters, I'm going to put over 1. And then there's a couple different ways to do this conversion. I like to set up 2 conversion factors because I have kind of 2 centimeter units right here that I need to convert out. So I'm going to set up 2 conversion factors, both of them with centimeters in the denominator because I want it to be on the diagonal where it is. And then I'm going to ask myself the relationship between centimeters, which is what I'm in. Now specifically it's square centimeters, but I'm just kind of looking at that base unit. Centimeters, which is what I'm in, to meters, which is what I want to go to. All right, and then we should, now that we're becoming a little bit more comfortable with the metric system, we should remember that there are 100 centimeters in 1 meter. So I can go ahead and fill out these fractions with that information. I'll put 100 next to my cm label, and I'll have 1 meter in the numerator. So 100 centimeters, again, in the second fraction that goes in the denominator, is equivalent to 1 meter. So those are my conversion factors. My square centimeters in my numerator will cancel with the 2 centimeter units I have in my denominator. Okay, and then looking what I have 2,400 times 1 times 1, or 2,400 in the numerator. And I have 100 times 100. If you think about 100 as being 10 squared, that's 10 squared times 10 squared, are 10 to the 4th power in the denominator. And then my units would be in square meters. And again, this is why it's sometimes really helpful to be working with these powers of 10, because in this case, because I'm dividing by a power of 10, that means you want to move the decimal point left, however big this exponent is. So since the exponent is 4, I want to move the decimal point left 4. So in the number 2,400, if I move the decimal point left 4, so 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where the decimal point would be. So my final answer would be 0.24, and then square meters is the units on my final answer. Now if you wanted to get a little fancier here, you don't have to set up 2 conversion factors, so just as another way to record the work, the 2,400 square centimeters, you'd put that over 1. And then we just need to set up 1 factor where I know I have 100 centimeters. That's going to go on the diagonal because I want to cancel my centimeter units, is equivalent to 1 meter. And I need to do that twice because I have centimeters squared, or square centimeters. So you can just put a parentheses around that conversion factor and then put an exponent of 2 on there. All right, I like to expand it out where I can kind of see how many times I have to set it up. But both of these will be appropriate setups to get you your final answer. Now, while area is typically measured in square units, like the square meter or square centimeter, or you could even get into like obviously larger or smaller units inside using the meter as your base, when you're doing land area in the metric system, that's typically measured using the hectare, which is abbreviated HA. So this would be the metric unit for measuring land. The relationship is 1 hectare is equal to 10,000 square meters, or 1 square hectometer. All right, so just kind of working with the hectare for land area. Question, how many hectares are in a rectangular field 360 meters by 850 meters? Okay, so if I do a quick sketch here of my rectangular field, okay, I have 850 meters by 360 meters. So traditionally, to find the sky's area, we're going to do its length times its width, which would be 360 times 850. And I want to be clear, both of these are in meters. So 850 meters. So when I go to compute that guy's area, multiplying it, I would get 306,000, and then the units would be in square meters. All right, so we now need to convert that out. So I'm going to take my 306,000 square meters and I'm going to put it over 1. And the relationship between square meters and hectares is there's 10,000 square meters in 1 hectare. All right, so this is dividing by 10,000, or a factor of 10. So because we're going to be dividing by this number, you want to move the decimal point left 1, 2, 3, 4 zeros. Okay, because remember, this is equivalently, if you round to write this as a power of 10, this is 10 to the 4th power. So if I take my 306,000 and I move my decimal point 1, 2, 3, 4, that's where my decimal point needs to be for my final answer, between the 0 and the 6. So this is 30.6, and then my units are hectares. All right, very good. So now we've just explored looking at some area conversions in the metric system.